Hi, this is Brian. I'm from ChemicalStore.com and I'm here today to show you how to use the AP65 series TOA applicator. You'll notice that the TOA applicator has a guard with an arrow that shows to open and close. You can turn it that way to open, slide it off. There's also a core holder. This is for larger sized cores. Today I'm going to be going without it because my labels are on a 1-inch core. Remember, the specifications allow for only a 10 centimeter outside diameter or 100 millimeters, about 3.5 inches or so. So make sure that when you have your orders labeled from your label manufacturer, by the way, we manufacture labels as well, you can go ahead and order the outside diameter to fit those specifications. At the very bottom of the AP65 series there is a little door here. It says open. You pull it down and that opens the advancing mechanism. This is your advancing mechanism. It's just a simple piece of a couple of teeth that slide the backing paper along so that the labels will advance. Now we're going to run this edge of the label underneath a clear plastic guide until it comes out the front of the gun. And then we're going to continue until we get to the end of the first label. When we get to that end of the first label, we're going to take our guard and we're going to place it back onto the roll so that when we turn our gun over, the roll doesn't fall off. Okay, that's important because when you start handling the gun and the labels are in there, you don't want them to fall out. We're going to take the first label off and expose the backing paper. I'm going to set that label aside. And then we're going to fold the label down along the bottom and close the advancing mechanism and snap the door shut so that it's holding the backing paper in place. Now what will happen is with each squeeze of the trigger, that backing paper will advance, pulling the label off of the roll. Okay, now some labels are longer than a single stroke. Each stroke will move minimum of 20 millimeters to a maximum of 60 millimeters. That means if your label length is longer than 60 millimeters, you may need 2, 3, maybe even 4 strokes. There are some customers using this to dispense some very long labels. Regardless, you're basically going to squeeze the trigger until the sensor stops and the trigger can't squeeze anymore. That's the sign that you've reached the end of the label and the label should come right off the backing paper. Now when you're applying it to a surface, you want to make sure that you're not pulling the AP65 away from the surface as you're placing your label down. I'm going to demonstrate on this table, but this should work on a cardboard box. It'll work on your merchandise box. It works on plastic bags that contain merchandise or things in them. But go ahead, squeeze the trigger, begin your application. It should apply exactly along the line that you wish. And remember, don't pull away. Continue squeezing until you reach that stroke end, and that label will apply nicely and smoothly. Again, if you have a shorter label, it could take just one single stroke. For a longer label, you may need to stroke, apply, do not pull away, stroke again, stroke a third time, and there's your perfectly applied label. Thank you for watching this presentation by ChemicalStore.com.